Hello everyone, T-Man978. Today it's going to be Transformers Legacy Prime Universe Arcee. Yeah, I know, I'm shocked as well.
T-Man978 Chill Review.
Alright, somehow the multiverse has opened up in the Transformers world, and maybe Arcee stepped through the wrong land bridge, and not only did she come into the War for Cybertron world, but she's also totally changed her body to fit in. But here's all this stuff, and here is this, if you can actually scan that. Here's Prime Universe Arcee. I was not gonna buy her. I was like, she's so divergent from her original design. But when you really start messing with it in person, you can see they tried their best to get you what exactly I said earlier. She is a kind of like a G1ified version of Prime Arcee. But I have her completely stripped because this piece actually comes off for some reason. And that might happen to you while you're taking it out the package. So I wanted to show you she has this little slit right there and this little rectangular tab. So basically put it down like this with the wings up like that. And just force it in, and it pretty much stays. If you don't plug it in the way I'm doing it, it will probably keep falling off. You get the instruction manual. You get this tire thing, which you can also shove back here. It's just on a 5mm peg. And you get this Energon, throwing star disc thingy. And are these 5mm ports? Let's see. If these can fit in there, yes, they're 5mm ports. So if you have Siege, well, War for Cybertron Trilogy blast effects, there you go. So she doesn't come with them, but I'm gonna give you a spin around on her and talk about why I bought this. One, the main reason, Target has a sale going on right now where if you spend $50, you get $10 off, and you get $25 off if you spend $100. That's one of the reasons. Another reason is I watched MGo's review because I definitely didn't plan on buying this, and sometimes I'll watch other reviewers when I definitely don't plan on buying something. Well, before I review it anyway. Another reason, listening to Mark and that reveal of Wave 2 of Legacy, saying that once you get her in hand, she's good. Now, let's see this light popping right there. So if it's not good, I'm going to blame him. And the fourth reason, because I always say things like if you make purchases off my Amazon affiliate links, which I have a whole Amazon thing in every description of all of my videos starting past 2018, and every purchase you make after you click my link helps me out. So this is something I bought just strictly for the review, and because I was kind of interested. I'm not gonna lie, but they updated the facial design. They had the main things that make Prime Universe Arcee, like those. They put some of that pinkish purple paint down here as well. But she has all the cues, like even the spiky knee pads. If there's anything I dislike about this design, completely wholly, is this kibble hanging off the legs right there. I wish they could have figured something else out to do with that, because I don't like that, to be honest. Everything else I can kind of get around. She's always had a big front of a bike hanging off, but at least in this case you can actually take that off, and if you want to, you can take this off. Here's something you can do with this throwing star. You can pull that apart and put it here, because she was known to have blades that came out of her arms. So this replicates that, and she was often fighting directly just with that. Her hands could actually turn into a gun on that cartoon as well, but you can't do that here. But this wheel can come off, and if you separate it, it can become like a drone, and they actually painted it in there. So while she's sitting around fighting people with her little energon blades, the drone can be going around as extra protection shooting people. Or you can actually just make her, because it has a 5mm peg, make her hold it as a gun so she can shoot it. Shoot, 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 shoot. And you've seen what she just looked like from me spinning her around while I was talking. You have other options to change her look by bringing this away from the body. That exposes this port right here. You can plug this there. Let's bring this down. You can have it like this, so she has wheels behind her head. And I kind of like that look, to be honest. I mean, it sucks that it takes the gun away from her, but I do like the wheels behind her. And since she's so far from the figures I've purchased, she has the best neck articulation. I think she's the only one that can lift the neck up. You can kind of make her have a flight mode by bringing these wings out. So, and she can look forward, so that's awesome. And she does have a stand port right there. Well, let's get into the articulation. You see what the head can do. That's as high as she can go up. But there's a little bit of tilt right there, and of course it can rotate. Arm goes out to the side. She can do that. If you don't have kibble behind her, which is optional, she could go all the way back. She has bicep swivel. 90-degree bend right there, and wrist rotation. I was happy to find that out. The waist can rotate pretty much 360, but it's on a ball joint. So she does have backwards rocker, and she can come forward a bit, and you can like tilt side to side. If you want it, it kind of stays out of the box. It kind of stays loose, but I noticed that when I transformed her back from the bike mode and pushed it, it actually does clip, and she stays forward. But it almost looks like she's using her ab crunch is always engaged. But it's perfectly lined up with this, so I'm guessing that's straight. No, actually, you can move it. When you click that forward, her body stays a lot stiff for whatever reason. But if it's back like that, this is why things will be loose. So that's the problem. If anybody else has been complaining about this, I was wondering what people's issues were. If you don't click it forward, the body it stays loose. But when you click it forward, you actually can make her back straight, and she actually does have a slight ab crunch, so that's cool. So you can kick up 90 degrees until bumping into the crotch plate, but you can make her legs kick all the way out, which is cool. You can go out, thigh rotation, knees. I wish they were double jointed, but they bend that much. I mean, there is a secondary joint, but it dislocates her knee from the leg. And she does have extreme ankle pivot. Side, she can even turn outward that way. But the toe, if you want things to be flat, you have to have it like that. But you could do that and kind of give her a heel. But it is difficult for her to stand up. No, it ain't. So you could have the feet like that if you wanted to be honest. I don't know if I do, because that does look a little bit weird. Here she is next to her prime compatriot, who is Voyager class. Studio Series Preceptor. Here's like the standard new Autobot height, or deluxe class height, I should say. Not Autobot. Let me make sure his legs are straight. But yeah, she is slightly. Oh, I have her feet lifted up. Let me put her feet flat. Yeah, she's slightly shorter now when you do that, but as you can see, the height is variable. Bonus, here she is next to a 1/18 scale human. Here's what she looks like from the back if you have the wings engaged, and with the wings disengaged, this is what she's looking like from the back with this jetpack thing on. But yeah, once I figured out this waist situation, that it actually clicks into place, I started enjoying her a ton more. Now, because of this kibble on the side of the legs and the way the feet are designed, she does feel a little bit fiddly. Not to mention this backpack is like constantly shifting while you're moving. It makes things feel fiddly, but overall it's a good deluxe class figure. I wish she did have a real full-on gun though, but that's a personal problem for me. As you can see, this comes off a little bit easy. But if you wanted to, before we get to transformation, and I wanted to show that these actually peg into the peg holes, so you got to line that up, which is definitely easier said than done. But we can plug that there. I'm gonna put it sideways. Put this back on here, and now we can get to transformation. I'm gonna take these off. Rotate the head around. If you don't, she'll look very goofy. And this is definitely coming off way easier than I wanted to. Like I said, if you don't put it in that sweet spot, it messes up on you. But rotate this, and we can rotate the wheel so that this cover right there is in the front. But we're gonna leave things like this. The legs, we're gonna disengage that waist clip that I talked about. Rotate the legs this way. Kind of lift them up and slide these covers over her hand. So her hands have to be just basically straight. And we can bring the arms out to the side. We'll keep the shoulder like this, but rotate the arm that way. And now bring it down. Same thing over here. Bring that down. Rotate the arm. Plug the arms together. Make sure the shoulders are in that orientation on both sides. Now the legs are kind of complex, to be honest. We're going to close the foot like that. We're going to disengage the knee joint, and there's a peg on the bottom of the foot that goes into the back of this pipe right here. Do that on both sides. Now the leg needs to rotate up like this, and then come around, lift this crotch piece up, get the legs basically up into this orientation. And now this pipe, we need to shift the legs forward so that the pipes can go around over top of where her shoulder used to be in robot mode. Get that up there. Now we can bring the wheels down here. These wheels plug together just like the drone wheel. And basically have it in this orientation. We can shut that down, but now we need to bring the front of the bike down. And this peg needs to go into this slot right there. While this can kind of groove in there, it's just a suggestion. This peg on the bottom is doing most of the work. So you may have to adjust this to line up with that. So peg that bottom one in while lining up with that top peg, like I said. Same thing over here. Line that up. peg and a suggestion peg. And basically, she's done. She is a motorcycle. Look at that. An earth motorcycle. And it does have a kickstand. So we can lay it there like that. Isn't that cool? Now let's let you see her. I love that the lights are transparent and reflective. And they actually did paint in that detail. This can actually still rotate. This, I believe this would still, no. The way it's transformed, it's not going to rotate. But, of course, the wheels roll. Let's see if I can make it. No. I was trying to make it roll without falling, but yeah. You can see they do have silver in here. They didn't do that back there. But it's full and detail and not looking like a clip-on wheel. So that's cool. You do still have access to that stand port. And here, if you didn't turn our face around, you would clearly be able to see our face. One extra thing you can do is plug these in back there for storage. One of the reasons why I have this 1/18 scale figure out here, which this is one of the more recent G.I. Joe 3 3/4 inch retro style Cobra figures. But I can get him on there. It came unpegged. But yeah. So he's on there. Now, getting his butt to sit down, he has all of this robot stuff, like lifted way far up, further up than you probably would have on a real bike. So that's causing a problem, but let me let you see him just sitting on here. He does look natural just sitting there. You do have G.I. Joe. Maybe she's undercover right now working for Cobra to get information. There's that. Motorcycle robots, unless they're core class, are never going to scale when they're the same class. Here's something I did while I was taking a break. But you can port these back here because there are ports right there. So yeah, just these two ports and these two ports she still has access to. But overall, motorcycle mode, I can't really complain. It becomes a cohesive motorcycle where at a glance, you might not even notice anything wrong with it, but if you keep looking at it, it's like, hey, what is this? Is this a Transformer or is it a Lego bike or something? Because you got the ports and whatnot. But yeah, it looks good. It wouldn't scale with anything, but you already knew that going in. Anyway, since this is a tradition now for these retail figures, reverse transformation, I'm gonna unplug these and just bring them forward on both sides. Kind of get that out the way. But now we are going to lift that up and plug the wheel, which there's no little divot groove for you to put your finger in, but you need to get the legs rotated this way. And now we can separate our arms, bring the shoulders all the way up till they click. Shove this up, turn the arms that way, shove that up, turn the arm that way. And then we can lift that up, rotate the body around, and bring that forward till it clicks again. The legs We can put the wheels over to the side, put the kickstand up, put the wheels over to the side. You can disengage that peg if it didn't do it by itself and click. Disengage the peg, lift that up till it clicks. Bring the foot forward. Rotate the head around. Back here, this hinge needs to come down. Might as well rotate this around and bend it and have everything shoved up in there like that. And to make things flat, we can move that like that. But yeah. Arcee, she's kind of fiddly, and I guess the only thing I can really complain about is this piece might come off easy, and that's a piece where you might not even want it to come off. If you absolutely don't want that to come off, just crazy glue it. Get some Gorilla Glue or whatever, crazy glue, whatever kind of like permanent glue, and just glue that to that if you never want it to come off, because it doesn't even need to. Only other things is I wish she had a real gun. But I guess they wanted her to have everything stored on her at once. And I don't know, they could have still thrown a gun because she has extra spots for a gun. But yeah, not a horrible figure. Complete transparency, from the way I'm looking at her, this is like tilted a certain way in this draft. I want it to be straight. I don't know why that's tilted, but whatever. It's not no, I think I got it straight. But anywho, thank y'all for watching this video. Until next time, T-Man978 out of here.
Figure action. That one's me.
Join the Syndicate Toy Hunters Facebook group. Link in the description. Click the videos. Click the fucking videos, baby. Click the videos. You should really click